Okay, so on this next section here, we're going to talk about agent roles. We got 3 lessons and a little unit exam, which is pretty quick. So this shouldn't take too long. And this is not specific to Maryland. This is all over the United States, by the way. I know it says Maryland up here, but it's not specific to Maryland. There are some things that are specific to Maryland. I will let you know, but I don't believe so. Responsible for handling all dealings on a specific client property. Okay, let's look at what we have here. We have general agent, special agent that acts on behalf. We have a limited agent. If you're a property manager, you would be a general agent because you have tenants collect rent, evict tenants. A universal agent, empowered to do anything like the principal of the person can do. A limited agent is you don't make any decision on the contracts of your client's behalf, and this would include negotiator, representing your client's wish. Your role is to find the house, sell the house, and you do not continue to represent that client once the transaction is finished. So this would be an example of if you are a buyer or seller agent. Okay, responsible for handling all deals on a specific client property. Property managers are usually special agents, I think. No, they're general agents. Never mind. Okay. Enters into contracts on behalf of client, special agent. Acts as an, and this is not talking about 007 special agent either. Acts as an intermediary but doesn't make decisions or enters into contracts on their client's behalf. I believe that is a general one. You do not. You are just representing them, but you are not making decisions for them. You are not telling them what houses to buy and not. You're just offering them decisions. Has limited authority to act on client's behalf. Make real estate transactions involving a buyer or seller. Deal with this type of agency. So we got a lot of these wrong. So don't listen to anything I said because I got all these wrong. Oh my goodness. Okay. Enters into contracts on behalf of the client is a general agent. Acts as an intermediary but doesn't make decisions as a special agent. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. All right, so I think I got them mixed up. Special agent has limited authority. The general agent is responsible. So I have them mixed up. Has limited authority as a special agent. Okay, let's go back and take this again. And hopefully we will get it right this time. I had them mixed up. All right. I'm going to go back here and let you take a screenshot if you need to. If you need any of these resources, be sure to let me know. Contact me on my website under Contact Me and let me know. Be specific as to what resource that you want. All right, we're going to move on. Universal Intercompany Agent. Let's look at this a second. Okay, intercompany is a licensee who is appointed by the broker to represent one party in a dual agency in-house transaction. So you would be representing the buyer and seller, and this does happen. And brokers would love this because they get dual commission, right? 2 of their agents in their office are having a transaction. You know, every state has their own rules on this type of thing, but most of them are pretty standard that you are allowed to do this. And if you can't do it, believe me, your broker will tell you cannot do it. But it's very rare that it wouldn't be allowed to be done because it happens. You got like 300 agents in under one broker, and if 2 of them have a house that your buyer and seller want, and sometimes they'll let each other know, agents know already that a house is coming. So that way you got a heads up before it even hits the public that a house is coming up. All right, you're empowered to do anything that the principal could personally do. And this will be universal. It has the most authority over any agent. Not a common role for a real estate agent. Appointed by the broker to assist in a in-house transaction. Only the licensee appointed to the client owes fiduciary to that client. I have no idea what that one would be. Let me go back over here and look. All right here it says, in these situations, only the licensee appointed to the client owes fiduciary duties to that client, also known as appointed or assigned. Okay, so this one here is not a common role. Okay, so let's try this again. It's the most authority, not a common role. I mean, neither one of these are common roles for real estate agents, so that's kind of shady there. So if you need to take any screenshots, here you go. I'm moving along a little more quickly on these videos because we're going to run out of time. The class is going to close. I mean, they only give you like 5 or 6 months to finish this up. And I'm using this as a study guide for those who need to go back and pass their real estate license, salesperson license examination, and go back and use this as a study guide to help you pass. Everyone collects rents on behalf of his property owner. I believe he's an intercompany. I don't know about intercompany. I don't know. I'm guessing. I think this would be universal. Yeah, universal. Okay. Owes fiduciary or acts as a liaison. Acts as a liaison. Where does it say that in here? Acts as a liaison. Okay. I guess it's true. General agent? Oh, now we're going back to general agent again. Okay. Acts as a negotiator. No, that would be limited, so that's wrong. Okay, let's check it. The first one is wrong. Okay. Okay, so let's do this again and go through this. Okay, so let's see here. All right, they're collecting rent, evicting tenants. They're a general agent, I would think. This is a general agent, not an intercompany. All right, this one is true. Somebody was killed in an automobile accident. Universal agent, it's kind of like attorney. What do you call it? I can't even think of the name of it now, but it's where you take over everything. So it's called a universal agent, but it's also attorney in fact, attorney in general, something like that, where you are entrusted to take over if somebody dies. That would be the case. Okay, and if you don't have it in writing, though, you might have to go get a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but that could get complicated if you don't have it in writing and you're trying to give somebody hand over somebody your child. Indigo and Amy have just been assigned 2 clients that are represented by their firm and involved in the same transaction. So they are an intercompany agent. All right, if you are acting as a liaison and negotiator for your client, I believe you are a general agent. No, it says you're not a general agent. You're probably a limited agent. No, you're not. Okay, you're making decisions for everybody. You're a universal agent. Okay, empowered to do anything. That's my goal in life. Empowered to do anything, right? All right. Agent roles, and this is not specific to Maryland unless I tell you. All right. Exclusively represent the seller. Okay. And can list and market the seller's property. All right, can assist the buyer, but not loyal to the seller. Okay, Doyle exclusively represents the buyer, but can assist the buyer in purchasing. A broker or office manager who represents both of them. All right, what does it say about sub-agent up here? Anything? Works for the real estate company that isn't the seller's agent company. It assists the buyer in purchasing a property. Okay, so that's not correct. I guess you can't go back and change these things. This one is a buyer's agent. All right, let's take this off. Can we take these things off? I don't think we can take them off once we screw up. So we'll just have to take it again. Okay. So of course we screwed up because I can see we screwed up. This one should be a sub-agent. Assist the buyer in purchasing the buyer property is also a sub-agent. Is not loyal to the seller. And purchasing a property duty of loyalty is to the seller. So this one is a sub-agent right here. Exclusively represents the buyer. It's probably the buyer's agent. And this one here is a broker or office manager. It's a Doyle agency. Exclusively represents the buyer. I'm thinking it's Doyle agency. Okay, this one's Doyle agency. This is intercompany, so it can't be Doyle. This one must be Doyle. All right, let's take this again. All right, represents the seller, seller's agent. We got that one. This is loyal to the seller. So this one is a sub-agent. Assists the buyer in purchasing, but the Doyle is a loyalty to the seller. So the sub-agent exclusively represents the buyer, is the buyer's agent. This one is probably Doyle, and then this one's intercompany. This is going to be confusing. By the way, this is all of them, all over the place. This is not just specific to Maryland. I've had both my Maryland and Virginia license, and I'm just telling you it's the same thing in Virginia. All right, let's see. Seller's agents. Agents who represent the seller. Sub-agents. Sub-agents assist the buyer, but the loyalty is the seller. Seller's intercompany agent. Which one is it? I know. Sellers represent the seller. Okay. Agents who represent the buyer, and this is the buyer. Good job. Okay. So if you need to take any screenshots here, I'm going to leave it paused for a second. Okay. That's pretty simple, isn't it? It pretty much tells you on there. Okay, here we go again with more of these questions. Oh my God, they really want to make sure we know this, right? All right, Iris is loyal to the seller but does not work directly for the real estate firm that represents the seller. She is acting as a sub-agent. Julianne assists her client in evaluating properties. She is acting as a buyer's agent. Yes, I would say that's correct. She's been designated by a broker to assign to other agencies to firm to represent the buyer and seller in a dual agency situation. Jackson works as a broker and currently finds himself in a situation where the firm represents both the seller and buyer in the same transaction. Rosemary is listing and marketing her client's property. She's acting as a seller's agent. So we got one wrong here, and this one's false. She is not acting as a interim. She is acting as the role of a dual agent. Okay. Okay, so that's almost all of them were true except for that one. Okay. So I'm going to trying to do this kind of quick because we already know the answers. And I'm going to let you take a screenshot if you need to. And then we're going to move on because we're going to try and get through all of our units in one video. And the unit exam too. I think it's much easier this way. That way we don't have 50 million videos because we already almost have 100 now. So we don't want 300 videos. So we're trying to avoid that. You look on the subject of the title of our videos, and if you need to work on or study a specific subject, then go and look for that subject and go back and review it, and that's how you'll study. All right, is the roll clear? All right, do we want to listen to this? Okay, all right, let's listen to this. It's the first time we had this one.
Before we go any further, I should tell you that I represent the seller as the seller's agent. Because of this, any information you share with me regarding the property or your interest in it, I am legally obligated to share with the seller. Here is a copy of the disclosure notice I'm required to give you that describes my role as a seller's agent. I'm happy to go over this form with you in detail.
Yes, she did a good job describing her role.
I'm happy to help you find the exact home you're looking for. If you ever have any questions about my duties, be sure to refer to the disclosure notice I provided you. As your agent, I must keep anything you say confidential. I cannot share with the seller your motivations, your ability or lack thereof to obtain financing, or your willingness to pay more for the property.
Okay, her role was not clear on that. The agent erred in saying there was no requirement to disclose the financial difficulties to the seller.
I'm happy to help you find the exact home you're looking for. If you ever have any questions about my duties, be sure to refer to the disclosure notice I provided you. As your agent, I must keep anything you say confidential. I cannot share with the seller your motivations, your ability or lack thereof to obtain financing, or your willingness to pay more for the property.
Okay. I love these little audio things. It saves me some of my voice. All right, let's listen to this one.
In Maryland, I can either represent you as your single agent, or if you want broader market exposure, you can grant me permission to act as a dual agent. This allows me to bring prospective buyers to your property and represent you both. I would owe you undivided loyalty and still could not share any confidential information you give me with any buyer.
I don't think that's correct. No, that's not correct. A single licensee cannot represent both because you're going to have you got to have loyalty to one. You can't have loyalty to both. Okay, let's look at this one.
In Maryland, when a dual agency situation arises, as it has here, my broker is required to assign one agent to represent the seller and another agent to represent the buyer, assuming both the seller and the buyer have consented to dual agency representation. My broker has designated me as the seller's intracompany agent, and another licensee in our firm will be assigned to you. As intra-company agents, we will provide the same services to you as if we were your exclusive seller's or buyer's agent.
You need to make your roles clear, and let's review what we discussed. Okay, I'm going to take our unit exam. It's only 4 questions, so hopefully we'll get this correct the first time. Keller represents the seller of a 3-bedroom home in Aberdeen. The seller consented to dual agency. Joyce, another salesperson, has a buyer is interested in making an offer. What needs to happen next? All right, the seller consented to it. Both parties must confirm the dual agency. Um, which of the following statements about dual agency is true? Dual agency is illegal. The broker must assign a representative, and the broker must agree to one must sign one. Okay. Shanane has been working with a buyer, though they have not signed an agency agreement. When he finds a house, Shanane helps him fill out the offer and submits it to the seller. In what capacity is Shanane contributing to this transaction? I think they're a sub-agent for... which agent role is designated by a dual agent and exclusively represents the seller? I don't know if I got these right or not. Nope, we failed. Okay, let's see what we got wrong. The seller, both parties must affirm assent to dual agency. Okay. I was getting ready to put that too. All right, which of the following is true about dual agency? The broker must assign one agent and one seller. A sub-agent for the seller. Okay. I don't know why it did that. Really? Sub-agent for the seller? Submits it to the seller's agent. Okay, but they're not helping the buyer? Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, let's go back up and do this again. We got a few more minutes. Retake this test. Hopefully pass it this time. If we don't, I'm just going to shut the video off because it's getting kind of long. All right, Mike, a salesperson with Helping Hand Realty, listed Yvonne's home for sale. Brett, another salesperson, has a buyer. Antoine, Helping Hands broker, make sure that Mike and Brent have affirmed their clients' consent. Who is the dual agency in this scenario? Antoine. Okay, the broker is the dual agent. Okay, Beverly's broker, Marquise, has assigned her to represent the seller in an in-house transaction. Beverly's colleague, Tyrone, will be representing this buyer. What's Beverly's role? Okay, Beverly's broker has assigned her to represent the seller. So she's representing the seller, and Beverly's colleague will represent the buyer. Okay, so she is intercompany agent representing the seller. Claudia is a new licensed assistant working for the salesperson, Monica. Claudia takes Monica's phone calls. She's listening about them all sheet. What kind of tasks is Claudia performing? She's performing, she's definitely answering, I want to say ministerial. We didn't even go over any of this stuff in this unit. I'm not sure why this is coming up, but it could be fiduciary duties as well. But I don't think it's non-agent duties, because if you're answering questions about listings and you're scanning copies of paperwork, then you really need to know what you're doing. Okay, what type of real estate agency relationship usually exists when a licensee has broad responsibility of handling all the details of a specific property? I want to say maybe universal. All right, I don't know. Oh, I got them all right. Holy crap. I can't believe it. Definitely needed to take it. I can't believe I even got that right. Okay, this one, Antoine the broker is the dual agent. If you need any screenshots here, now is your time to do it, because I'm pausing for a second. And if you missed it, you can just go back and rewind the video. That's the great thing about videos. Okay, so ministerial acts. That was totally a guess. They didn't even talk about that in this unit, so I'm not sure why that came up, but it's definitely some, definitely got to know a little bit about real estate if you're going to be answering questions and doing stuff. What type of real estate agency relationship usually exists? General. And that was kind of a guess too. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to move on. The next unit is types of agency relationships. If you're coming back and you still need assistance with any of your agency roles and study guides, this would be the deal. Hopefully this helped somebody. Let me know in the comments if it helped anybody, okay? So I know to keep moving on, because it's tough to keep going if you don't think you're helping anybody, right? All right, I'm getting ready to shut this down.